In this episode, we quote a lot of things that people have said.
Strangers.
Youth pastors, senior pastors, guest speakers.
80-year-old pastors. And it's not good. We don't approve of it. So if you're young, maybe...
If you're younger than 12, why don't we put it there?
12?
14?
Hey,
PG-13.
PG-13 episode.
12-year-olds and under. Maybe just grab a huge lollipop and a little propeller hat and get to skipping.
Yeah.
Get to skipping to next week's episode.
These pastors are problematic.
Yeah. They're problematic.
They're
Anyways.
a problem.
That's the trigger warning.
We don't condone the things they say.
This is an after-school program podcast.
What key are we in? G?
That's a good clap.
That's a good one.
Excellent clap.
That was a great clap. All to sync, y'all. You already know. We trying to sync all this footage up for you, baby.
You baby.
We trying to sync it up for you, baby. How y'all
That's
doing,
right.
fellas?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
Petey, it's Petey, baby. How you doing, Chase?
I'm good. It's occurring to me now that we've started doing video again and we're all wearing the same clothes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Guys, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Does
okay.
it? Does it
Okay.
matter?
Not anymore.
Nah, it doesn't matter. What are we gonna do? Change in the closet like we used to? All we did was just change t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious. Do y'all want weekly webisodes or not? Weekly webisodes. Welcome back, guys. It's not like we went anywhere. I should have used the bathroom before we started. Do y'all mind if we pause this for I'm just kidding. I
don't care.
Guys. I got it, guys. Prayer with a P, capital P.
We'll just wrap this one up early.
Man, I love how creative you guys are. How do y'all figure out what to do? Just our bladders. Our bladders and hunger. Hey, I'm hungry. All right, let's not do something. Let's leave. So guys, welcome back, Chase. How you doing, brother?
Thanks. I'm good to be back.
You acknowledge that we've been making the studio even bluer.
Yeah, each episode has gotten just a little bit more blue.
Guys, I mean, by the end of this season, we're just going to be avatars. The way of the water.
Blue Man Group.
We should paint ourselves blue for another one of these episodes.
Yeah.
Is that offensive to any people?
We painted ourselves white one time, and that was chaos.
Yeah.
That was a rough day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. For that video, I turned around and I looked at Shama, who was in the process of getting his white paint off, and I physically could not look at you. I turned away.
Why?
I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, because you were laughing so hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, hey, get past it.
And then
I'm doing white face. Get past
We
it.
couldn't get it quite all off, and PD had to go to work like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was after, because Liz, your girlfriend, had told us, oh, yeah, I think we used too thick of a layer. And we were like, oh, well.
I think what Chase has a video of me, you, and Liz huddled around the
Bathroom
sink.
mirror.
sink
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
Just panicking. My hands were whitish for a long. I couldn't get that off my hands to save my life.
I ruined a black T-shirt.
Oh man.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But it was a
y'all have,
great video.
It was for the
Y'all
bit.
have a ton of them, right? We
Yeah.
got to do a sequel.
It's a great
I'm
video.
wearing all black right now.
Yeah.
So are you, Shama?
I'm actually wearing Maverick City Music tee. I did a what was it? A black creator summit with them.
Just doing white face with the boys.
No.
What a day.
I did a Black Creator Summit with them back in March, and they filmed it. It was over Zoom because I was in Tanzania, and they had a bunch of awesome Black creators on there, and I don't know if it was so good or so bad, but they didn't release it.
Wow.
I had you would have loved it, PD. I had some great jokes in there because they initially were like, all right, everybody go ahead and introduce yourselves, and there were 20 people on the call, and I went, I'm Shama, and I'm actually in Africa right now with my family, which is the blackest thing you could do during Black History Month. And
You got laughs?
I got a couple of laughs.
Did you get nervous?
Well,
laughs?
Well, it was just a bunch of black people on the call. So I'm thinking, I mean, guys, what is the blackest thing you could do during Black History Month? go to Africa. And I'm African, so I said that. But I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I had too many jokes because there were some people like there was a girl on there crying. Just like I just what God has been doing just in my life, in my black life, and and I was just over there, you know, just
like, I'm an
jokes.
African. Can't get more African than that. Am I right? Am I right? Different approaches.
You know, I mean, y'all can keep on chanting Black Lives Matter, but all Black Lives Matter over here, you know what I'm saying? We all black over here. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was in Africa.
So you were just coming with bits.
Yeah, I was coming with bits just because I thought, you know.
But, I mean, if anybody knows you, they should expect that.
Well, I just didn't do bits. Like, I also had some serious moments, too. But I was trying to make it lighthearted. Because, you know those Zoom calls where it's sort of like, man, we have 17 creators who we all love and admire on this call. And I'm like, guys, you got to break it up, right? Like, we got to break it up. And so that's why I was trying to kind of do that. And then, you know, trying to find a good balance of, like, you know, silly and also serious. Silly and serious, guys. That's my new ebook out right now. Check it out. It's really just I'm just kidding. What if I had an ebook to plug right now?
That sounded like a real pitch.
Silly and
serious.
The Shama Marama story.
Yeah. It's the half clown, half just me. Half
Delirious.
Oh, you going back in whiteface for the book cover?
No.
Oh.
I never left. Guys, so I did this thread last year. So we've been doing, PD and I, we co-created this series called Loose Cannon Guest Speaker, which has done great numbers online, Instagram, TikTok. It's been really cool to watch. PD and I both were like, what is the craziest thing that a pastor could say? And then we both just went back and forth writing those things.
Yeah, without it being hate speech. There is a line.
Yeah. You're like, I guess I'm trans because I've been transformed. That's a line that we wrote, which we're like, well, he has been transformed. And it's an abbreviation.
Yeah. I feel like we get up like right to the line, but we don't cross it.
Yeah, don't cross it. And so some of the comments would be, some people would be like, I don't know about that one. And so I had this idea. Where I just hopped on my Instagram story and I went, guys, just tell me of a time that you were at a church or in a conference or an event, and a pastor said something or somebody on stage said something that, like, you know, it didn't make the news and he didn't go to prison, but it just didn't sit well with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, okay, there are a lot of stuff that, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Mark Driscoll or whoever said that. But there are a lot of stuff you just hear somebody say something absolutely insane. It's bonkers. And then you're like, ah, cool. Who wants to go to Ruby Tuesdays after this?
Yeah.
You know
and
what
then
I mean?
you're like in the shower the next day and you're like, did he really talk about pushing people out of their wheelchairs?
You're like, I guess it's fine. So I kicked it off with a video, and then, you know, and then, you know, so I just snapped screenshots and started reposting them. And obviously I did that thing where your stories just look like a dot, like dots.
Yeah.
And, but they were really good, and a lot of people enjoyed reading them. Mm-hmm. And I thought I should compile these and like read them on the, on Church Stories one day. Or we should just go through them and react to some of them. So this was the first one. Please, I want to remain completely anonymous. My dad once told me about a preacher that was teaching in a very important conference about how to make love to the Holy Spirit. It was a disaster.
And that was from Becky in Wisconsin.
You want to stay anonymous? Not here. How to make love to the Holy Spirit.
Very carefully.
Reminds me of something that I heard in Planet Red, our old youth group.
Why are you just top of the day? They still go by that name.
The other day, I was like, Planet Red, like, I should take that.
Was it red because of Jesus' blood? I don't really know.
Relationships, evangelism, discipleship.
3 things that we were all bad at.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a cool band name.
Yeah.
Planet Red. Let's steal it.
This is from Cosby Bain. She's this is Michael Bain's daughter here at the church.
Is it about him?
I think so, yeah. She just puts him on blast. One time my dad, the pastor, one time a pastor was breaking a vase during a sermon on empty vessels. He told us the vase was his grandmother's. When he lifted it up to smash it, there was a very obvious Target price tag on the bottom.
Dang.
I thought you were about to say there were ashes in there. That's where my mind went.
Broken vessels. Anyways, this is Grandma.
She's been set free on the stage. She will now grant 3 wishes.
If you're gonna go wild, just do it and get it out of your system. But then remember to come back to God. He was my junior high Sunday school teacher, and he has been wilding out for quite some time. That's the quote. If you're gonna go wild, just do it. He's junior high Sunday school teacher and has been wilding it out for quite some time. Has not come back to God. I'm 28 now, waiting for him to come back to God. So this dude, I mean, basically he got high off his own supply.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna go crazy. Just do it all. Do all the and then he's like, went crazy. So I don't know. Can you fault him?
Yeah. Do cocaine. It won't last.
Do cocaine.
Wait, this cocaine's kind of good.
I feel like I might ruin my life. BRB. A pastor used the Jacob breeding the sheep and goats in Genesis to talk about being in spiritual heat, and then proceeded to tell us that he wanted his wedding ceremony to end so he could skip to the end of the night. Awkward.
And it is also online.
Yeah. Maybe don't listen to this episode with the kids.
Yeah. Hey, man, I just screenshotted and shared what people sent me, man. So this thing, I ain't writing none of this. I'm reading as is.
These are them.
These are y'all.
These
This
are your
from y'all.
Instagram fans.
Yeah,
Which,
different from the podcast fans.
a little bit. A little judgier.
What is it with like so I know a lot of pastors talk about like sex because they just know, they just know it'll get a reaction. Like they'll be like, oh man, if you don't want people to fall asleep, just be like, man, hey man, men are different from women, right? Everybody knows this, right? If we had work, you know what I mean? Like you're like, man, people, you get like the nervous laughs or whatever. So it's almost like a cheap, like a cheap claptrap, like a party trick.
Well,
in
it's like
youth ministry.
it's shocking, but technically, like this is the only person who's allowed to say anything about it, so it's okay.
So you're like,
And
so me and my wife, sometimes, y'all find out about that later. You're like, kids in the back are clapping. Like, I mean, do you get like how often is it going to work? That's my thing. How often is that going to work?
I don't know.
And it just keeps on, maybe because there's like a new crop of like, middle school prepubescent teens coming up every year who don't know about all that stuff. So they're like, whoa, here he goes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that is what it is. It's like,
As long as it works.
yeah, it always gets a reaction out of middle schoolers.
Yeah. Okay. This will not sound, is another one. This will not sound shocking in this time of spiritual leader. This will not sound shocking in this time of spiritual leader people speaking harsh and crass all the time. But when I was a kid in the 80s in a conservative Pentecostal church, the pastor once loudly said, "I don't give a rip." I have no idea the context since that was all I heard. LOL, but it sent shockwaves of offense through the congregation.
Hey, y'all soft.
Man, they would riot if they listened to our podcast.
Public school Chase over here's got something to say to y'all.
Y'all soft, dog.
This is another one. My pastor brought in a tub of cow manure as part of his lesson. The church smelled so bad, and none of the windows were open. We are the cow manure before Jesus. That was his analogy, I guess. I mean, once again, if anybody knows anything about foul smells, mentioning we are the cow manure before Jesus, kind of adequate. I don't know if you need physical manure in the room.
Yeah.
It's bad storytelling, bad analogy.
Yeah, I mean, all you'd have to do is put a bunch of middle school boys in a room, and then you get the smell you're looking for.
Yeah, you cut out the middleman of going to a field.
Yeah.
Shoveling cow.
Like
patties.
when he was shoveling through, he's like, "This is gonna be so
It's gonna
great.
kill. It's
This is gonna be so good on Sunday."
Yeah, and it didn't. It's another one. First off, you've nailed it with "I did every single drug you could think of and some you've never heard of." That's a reference to Loose Cannon. That one was like every conference I went to as a teenager. The one I have for you is describing dancing by a camp speaker. That's what a German Shepherd does while it's in heat. So it's like, don't dance? Is this dude like anti-dancing, I'm assuming?
I guess.
How
I don't know.
Okay.
It's cheap shots. This is a quote. We're going to see the visible manifestation of God tonight. Years later, and still waiting for that. That's my favorite. That's a fun one.
That's a bold one.
When people are like, I feel God's gonna come down in this room, in this camp tonight and shake things up. And you're like, well, I mean, will he?
God's gonna come and he's gonna mosh.
We gonna crowd surf the Lord Jesus tonight. One more. Pastor, while explaining how wide and big our love for Jesus is, began to sing, "We love Jesus from the windows to the walls." Maybe he's one of those. Do you think he knew the rest of the song, or was he just sort of like, I like that song, from the windows to the wall? Our youth pastor decided it would be a good idea to have himself carried into our youth service in a coffin, and have his wife post R.I.P. on social media while doing a sermon series on death in the afterlife. He got some phone calls.
Dude, I put a lot of thought into faking my own death when I was a kid.
Why? Did you not think of like the traumatic implications?
No, I thought like I wanted to have people in on it, but then of course I would get to the traumatic implications part and I'd be like, okay, I can't do that to people.
Hey, if PD dies, don't be too sure.
Yeah, just be like,
that's a great idea. I should keep putting this out there so that when I really do die, no one's gonna believe it.
When you do, they'll be like, whatever. 77 and peacefully in his sleep. Sure.
That's classic PD.
That's exactly how PD would have framed it.
He's gonna bust out of the casket just like he planned when he was 12.
Okay, this is another one. Anonymous, please. I remember a pastor saying, I want all of you to know the Lord, but if I see one of you growing closer to him than me, it's going to make me want more. And then followed up with the weirdest line ever. I'll climb up and down your back to get closer to God than you are.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's a pick-me girl, but for God.
The pick-me girl. So, I mean, is the goal to have people grow closer to Jesus, or is the goal to like not like beat him? You know, because he's making it sound like
it's a competition.
I mean, get spiritual, but I'm gonna out spiritual you, dog.
And climb up people as if they're a spiritual ladder.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot going on in his analogy.
Too
here.
much.
I'll read a couple more. Do you want to
Pastors
hear
be
more,
tripping.
or what do we
Yeah,
want to do?
keep
I've
them
been
coming.
enjoying them.
This is from Jaron Myers. He says, one time a white conference speaker was talking about Adam and Eve, and when the snake talked to Eve, Eve must have thought, "Is this N-word talking to me?" This was in Arkansas. This is at a conference too. You thought he would have been vetted. Do you think he was bold or stupid to be like, I'm going to drop
And do you
the
think he
N-word.
finished his set?
I'm going to drop
Set.
What's it?
Do you think that he got to like, wrap everything up neatly the way he wanted to, or
So,
was he like ushered off the stage?
Here's the thing. I've been in some churches where something crazy has gone down like that. And I think because church is usually dun da da dun da da dun da da dun. You know what I mean? It's just usually just like the same thing. When something does go awry, nobody knows what to do.
I would have been laughing so hard.
You know what I mean?
would have been dying.
I've heard
It's like if somebody said, like, if the white dude is like, man, is this N-word talking to me? And he's talking about Eve and the steak. Everybody be like, ah!
I would have been dying.
And then they just kind of go, hopefully he'll be more calm than he just was. And then we all just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's rough.
I've heard some wild stuff, but never racism from the pulpit.
You haven't been to church much.
Okay, I was at this is another one. It's from John Harlan. I was at a guy's retreat, and the speaker was talking about the lies we tell ourselves, and got a rock and a mirror. He broke the mirror with the rock after saying one of the lies, and a piece of glass flew up and got caught in his arm, and he started bleeding and had to leave the camp to go to the hospital.
Dang.
I guess, okay, maybe that's the, you can say whatever you want, but hey, if you get injured, maybe that's your end. That's when people have had enough. They're like, all right.
Yeah.
Have a seat. You hit a major artery. Have a seat. This is from Samuel Cook. My pastor At my childhood church once threw his watch into the congregation to prove he will preach as long as necessary. He hit an 80-year-old woman in the face, Miss Nelda. Later that summer,
Miss
he met
Nelda. Do I get the pun belt? Where's the pun belt?
Where's the pun belt?
You can't gift yourself the pun belt.
Nobody was giving it to me after I just dropped that
domestic
fire
violence
pun.
on an 80-year-old lady. Here you go. That deserves a pun. Later that summer, he mentioned something about time, and he asked the deacon in the balcony to take the clock off the wall that faced the stage. The deacon said, "You want me to throw this too, Bob?"
Bob.
Yeah, this is from Aiden Bassett. At my school, a girl was making an announcement about the women's study on love they were going to be doing that semester. And at the end, she said, we're going to make love better than ever this week. We still quote that to this day. This is one from Will Stewart. A preacher had a sermon against open-toed shoes because it showed, and I quote, toe cleavage. Tell me what you're into without telling me what you're into. Instead of saying horned goats, I said horny goats once. Yeah, you kind of have to leave after that one, dog. This is from Mike Santiago. You can't keep preaching after that. You should close up your Bible and leave. At middle school church camp, I was told that a sin worthy of eternal damnation was listening to Party in the USA because the opening line said, "Welcome to the land of fame and sex."
I thought it said that too when I was a kid.
What does it say?
Fame excess.
Fame excess.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So they were wrong. When I told them that wasn't even the lyrics, fame excess, they were not happy.
Yeah, people hate being told they're wrong.
Yeah.
Especially after you've preached the whole sermon against
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
That's
You know,
most-
Satan on earth, Miley Cyrus.
So easy to fact check too.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't just pull up the lyrics before they
Dumb.
did that. Yeah.
I heard, I was at a conference and the guy, the preacher was, the speaker was just talking about how it's so vital to be right now more than ever because people can fact check you. And not only can, but they will. So in the past, you could just say, you could just spout out some crazy fact about, freaking, you name it, right? But then now, if you say something like that, like over thousands of Nigerians die every day from malnutrition.
Yeah.
That's like, oh yeah, we need to support. But now if you say something like that, like somebody can fact check it.
I'm always like, where's the study though?
Where,
Where's it?
like, okay.
Like when Chase quoted the best gorilla joke of 1897, and then he found out it was a Tumblr post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Live on the
Somebody
pod.
I didn't even, okay, I need to figure that out. Okay, so this is from Gabriel Day. Where do I begin? I heard one older lady sharing her testimony and get graphic about her past and say, I'm proof God can turn a hoe into a housewife.
That's a good line.
We're gonna have to put a trigger warning on this whole episode.
Guys,
Trigger warning. I
we're
don't think
just
is the
reading
word.
them as they come. Like, this is not even from us.
There are
These just the middle
6-year-olds who
messages.
listen to this show.
Are there?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, great. Hey, maybe 6-year-olds skip this one out.
I think we gotta put something at the beginning like, hey, we're gonna quote a lot of pastors.
Yeah.
You might not want to listen to this one with your kids.
Let's give the trigger warning right now. We'll cut that out and put it.
Okay.
Hey, guys. In this episode, we quote a lot of things that people have said.
Strangers.
Youth pastors, senior pastors, guest speakers.
80-year-old pastors. And that's not good. We don't approve of it. So if you're young, maybe...
If you're younger than 12, why don't we put it there?
12?
14?
Hey,
I don't know.
PG-13.
PG-13 episode.
12-year-olds and under, maybe just grab a huge lollipop and a little propeller hat and get to skipping.
Yeah.
Get to skipping to next week's
'Cause
episode.
these pastors are problematic.
Yeah. They're problematic.
They're
Anyways.
a problem.
That's the trigger warning.
We don't condone the things they say publicly.
Privately, it's a different story.
We're like, oh my! Okay, this is from Anonymous, please. Anonymous, please. Mr. Please. Once at a wedding, the pastor told the entire congregation that the couple met on Tinder, which would have been fine, except they had lied and told their whole family they met through friends. I mean, technically, the humans invented Tinder, so you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a couple more.
Maybe their friend.
You know,
is
Greg
the one
and
that
IT,
invented it.
like who coded. The family they met through friends. So his entire sermon centered on how great it is that Christians can meet online in the digital age. Not like one single word about marriage or love. It was a disaster. There is a we had a guy who was the guest speaker at our church this past Sunday, and he gave a really great message on Romans 9. Shout out to Brad Jones. I don't know if he listens to the show or not. And I went up to him afterwards, and I was like, man, that was a really well put together message. I really enjoyed that. And it was really awesome. And that's what I find with a lot of talks in church or like Christian settings.
They're just riffing.
They're just riffing.
Yeah.
How did this guy preach a whole wedding sermon on Tinder and how cool it is that people get to meet online in the digital age? You know what I mean? That's bad writing. Like, that's what I digressed, is that a lot of things that, we're against in, in like church, like this podcast exists just because we encounter so much bad writing in the Christian space.
And like pastors just spam the rule of 3.
Oh,
there are other ways to speak.
Yeah. But they don't.
The rule of 3 being like you give 3 examples for everything.
Yeah. But if the third example gets a big laugh, then they're like, it's kind of like we're going from Little League to the World Series, and then you're like, hey, you overstepped.
Like, you're doing cocaine and you're drinking and you're partying and
and you're doing cocaine while partying and drinking. Where are my cocaine, partying, drinking people at? You're like, no, not here. We're all 9.
Yeah. And the yelling, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I love it.
To teach, you don't always have to
they
yell.
Just pull the mic away from their mouths.
Yeah.
And Jesus,
You can just like speak in your regular person voice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, if you were a better writer, you'd trust yourself more.
Yeah.
Good writers and speakers, like, they pause more. Similar to how I just did. They slow down. Like, they're comfortable and confident in what they're saying. That they don't have to, like, spice it up with, like, weird examples and analogies and stuff. And, like, I'm gonna say it. We're gonna talk about sex today. Hey, turn to your neighbor and tell him sex. Turn to another neighbor and tell him sex. Like, they don't got to do that. They just go, hey, this is what we're gonna talk about it. And then they just go, it's well written, well structured, well presented. They go into it. They talk about it.
Hey, pastors don't really be throwing out the old hits no more.
No.
Talk about David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Let me hear about Jonah and the whale.
David had some sexual sins. Yeah, see, and you're like,
kind
hey,
of his
man,
big
just talk
thing.
About this is one from somebody else. They say, pastor used the phrase "rip him a new one" about 10 times in the sermon without knowing the connotation. He apologized the following Sunday.
Y'all soft.
A preacher said, if you're fat, you're a sinner.
Gluttony.
Y'all ain't ready to hear our opinions on that, though.
All I know is that Gwen Shamblin agrees with you.
Hey, this is another one. 12 years ago at a camp meeting, I had a large Cajun pastor point to my... Can you say Cajun pastor?
I think so. It's just New Orleans, right?
Yeah, like you can be racist to people in
Hey, get that
Louisiana.
Cajun woman. Can you say that?
Tom Segura did a whole special about it, so I think we're good.
they're not... How do you describe hating a group of people from a state?
It's like
What's the word for
nationalism.
I don't know. 12 years ago at a camp meeting, I had a large Cajun pastor point to my baby brother mid-sermon and say, "Be ready, the Lord will return before that child sees double digits." My brother is 17 now. But the years leading up to his 10th birthday were interesting.
Statophobia, maybe?
That was a very, why did he point, it's double digits? How did he know how old that little kid was to be like, "You young man, you will not see the age of 10.
That's really messed up.
I had an older pastor say that just because there is snow on the roof doesn't mean there isn't a fire in your loins. Men want a lamb in the streets, but a lion in the sheets.
Hey, brother.
Man, should we stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should call
All
it
right,
quits.
30 minutes. All right, guys. Y'all broke us. I mean, once again, bad writing.
Yeah.
Rough.
That was rough.
And we read their bad writing for
Does
30
that
minutes.
make us bad writers?
Nope. Makes
should
us
have
bad
found- We
readers.
should have found. Man, where do we go up from here? What do we do?
Where do we go now?
Oh, wait a second. PD, you used to make mixtapes when you were younger.
Yes, I did. I uncovered one.
You uncovered a mixtape.
Precious
Nice
artifact.
segue, man.
Petey used to make mixtapes.
Oh, y'all thought-
we haven't
You
talked
know-
about this beforehand, but you used to.
Yeah. You're just Jimmy Fallon me.
I Falloned you, dog.
I mean, since we
Man, was the first 30 minutes of this episode even should we even put this out? I'm
I
questioning
think
everything.
we should go back and delete some of the quotes, but not all. So it's going to be some work for you.
Which ones though? I mean, I know which ones, but like they're kind of rough.
Just send it to me after this. I'll be like, all right, cut this one and this one. I'll give timestamps.
All right, PD's the standards
I'll be-
and practices
yeah.
of church stories.
So if this episode still ends up offending you, direct the hate to me.
yeah.
Specifically.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Anyway, so this is a 15-track mixtape, and I don't.
15
We don't
track.
have time to go through all of it.
You
So
burned
I
this on a
want,
CD?
yeah, I want you both to pick a number, 1 through 15, and I'll just play one of the tracks.
You start off. Yeah, you start off with 4.
All right.
What's number 4, dog?
I can't now. I can't find it. Okay, I got it. Oh boy. So I'm pretty sure I had to have been 6 or 7 when I
Okay.
made this.
So you were old enough to
Let me get on the Rodecaster.
have created a mixtape, but what song were you gonna play? Connect real quick. And
Yeah,
look it up.
disconnected. All right, here we go. I'm not going to reveal what it is yet.
I'm more than just
Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
girl.
More than just your average girl.
I like to turn me up and show the world.
I had this in the number 4 slot.
'Cause something talks
That's the cleanup
about
hitter in baseball.
This girl just wants to rock.
This is what I was jamming out to when
I'm
I was 7.
individual, I'm not like anyone.
Wow.
I didn't remember the song until the chorus came in. I'm like, oh, I know this.
I can be cool as ice or anything I wanna be.
Who said?
I can't be Superman.
You have any memory of this?
I do.
Who said I won't be president? I say, you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh yeah.
You want to give me a number, Chase?
12.
Man, you were like, man, this was.
This was like Disney, the height of me loving Disney Channel.
Could you imagine the guy who played his heart out on the guitar on this track? Do you think he talks about that?
It was some
Have you
studio
heard that song? Who
musician in
said?
his 40s.
You know who said the Miley Cyrus song?
That was me.
2004. That was me. I did that. I wrote that.
Track 12.
It was probably her dad.
Maybe. There's Billy Ray Cyrus on all the instruments.
Or
This for you,
they
baby.
might have. They might have.
Random, middle-aged studio musicians, what I'm imagining. Track 12. Daughtry.
I was blown away. What could I say?
Also an American Idol fan at this age, which is where I think the Daughtry thing came
Yeah.
Everything, and I can't do without. I try to see
from. It's very now I would call it butt rock.
Glad we put a trigger warning on this episode.
Can we make this something good?
What was going through your mind? Like, what headspace were you in to have to listen to this?
Was this like looking out the window?
It's not over. Freaking, it's not over, yo. Just watching the rain streak across the window in the backseat of your parents' car.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with 8.
Corbin Blue.
Oh my God!
Is this Push It?
Push it. Is this Push It the Limit?
Oh,
Hey,
this is a banger.
Though. Hey, that's a banger though.
It is.
This is a good movie.
It's
I need to watch
Afro
this again.
Corbin.
Let's do it.
Push it. Oh my gosh.
Push it to the limit. 'Cause we're in it to win it, Oh yeah. I realize this is where my heart is. Now is the time to finish what I started.
This track is mad breathy.
People might say it's who I am. Gotta live my dream my own way. Work it harder. Gotta take it farther. No holding back. You know we gotta do it right now.
Man.
Better work together. It's now or never. Show 'em how we shine. We gotta push it to the limit. 'Cause we're in it.
That wasn't the only High School Musical track I had.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I love this. What number is this one?
That wasn't High School Musical,
2?
was it?
You are the music in me.
Dude, this song though.
You know the words once upon a time.
You know, High School Musical gets a lot of hate, but I don't think people understand how truly, like, it was like the Grease of our time.
I mean,
it was really important.
This was. I remember thinking, wow.
It was the biggest movie of our childhood.
I didn't remember like how much of my entertainment ecosystem was just Disney.
Yeah,
Like,
mine
I had
was
all these
too.
Disney songs and I watched Disney movies. And
Yeah.
what a classic.
Let it play real quick.
Yeah.
You're pulling me.
Then I hear my favorite song.
I know that we belong, yeah.
You are the music in me. Yeah, it's living in all of us.
And it's brought us here because
'Cause you are the music in me.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yeah. You are the music in me.
like I knew you before we met. Can't explain it. There's no name for it.
I mean, this should have just been the episode. Us vibing out to High School Musical 1.
Also, I had a song from Bowling for Soup, which is the band that made Phineas and Ferb's music. So I guess I just found them through that. But it was a song about this woman who's like trying to cling on to her youth that there's like no way I could have understood the lyrics when I was a kid. But it's like this this girl who's like really into Bruce Springsteen and Nirvana, and it was like also had some Jonas Brothers.
I love
Play the
Jonas Brothers. Is it year 3000?
Year 3000, boy?
Yes.
Oh, we knew.
Dude, this song.
I still listen to this.
I've been jamming out to this song in my car.
Really?
Getting
I
the
have
past
too,
couple
man.
weeks, dude.
I love this. I love the music video.
The music
too.
was so cool.
Apparently, the song was written by a UK band.
Yeah, this is a cover.
Yeah.
One day when I came home,
At lunchtime, I heard a funny noise.
went out to the backyard to find out
If it was one of those ratty boys.
With my neighbor called Peter in a flux
Capacitor.
he built a time machine. Wanted to film a scene. Yeah. He said
Back to the year 3000.
Not much has changed, but they live underwater. Woo! And your great-great-great-granddaughter
Is doing fine.
doing fine.
took me to the future.
There's a part of this song that always frustrated me. Hold on, listen.
And another one, and another one.
And another one.
Posted with round hair like Star Wars.
It's the part where he talks about how they live underwater.
Is it the bridge?
Yeah.
This one?
I don't think so. It's
I
where
think it's in the first verse.
oh, it's in the first verse. But the part where he says, not much has changed, but they live underwater, I was like, that's a big change.
Well, I think that's a joke.
Oh.
Maybe.
As a kid, I was like,
Not much has changed, but they live underwater.
That's
a big
pretty
change.
big shake up.
I mean, we just all become Avatar Way of the Water. That's what he's saying. James Cameron directs the world at the year 3000.
Yeah. Whoa.
Year 3000. I mean, to be honest, holds up.
oh, yeah.
No?
Oh, yeah.
Holds up.
Jonas Brothers have always been cool.
At first, when I found this, I was cringing, but I was like, you know what? Some of these songs still
Bangers.
go hard.
They still bangers.
Oh, yeah.
Not Daughtry, though.
Hey, you got any Camp Rock on there?
No. I think this is pre-Camp Rock when I made this.
Yeah.
You didn't mess with Camp Rock?
No, but I do. I want to close with Tim McGraw.
Oh my gosh.
I like Tim McGraw.
Just envision 8-year-old PD just
Yeah.
with his iPod Classic.
This
Just like,
song
I
is
need
called
this.
"Find Out Who Your Friends Are." It's about getting This song spoke to me when I was a kid.
Get yourself in a bind, lose your shirt off your back. Need a floor, need a couch, need a bus fare. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the cream is gonna rise. This is what you really didn't know. This is where the truth don't lie.
You find out who your friends are.
This is a problem you had? You're like, I need to know who my friends
Dude,
are.
when I was a kid and I would get my pickup stuck on the side of the road.
You know, I feel this way when they forget to put my name in the emails.
Yeah, that's how you find out.
You find out who your fans are.
Fans are.
With a big old heart, you find
Now
out
who your friends are.
Bro, somebody said describe country music as having you makes you miss people you never met. You understand? I don't drive a truck, but when I listen to country music,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
Feels pretty powerful when you drive a truck too.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta get me a big truck.
You want mine?
I mean, same thing, man. Like, I don't go fishing at the lake, but when I hear a song about fishing at the lake, I'm like, I get it. I know what it feels like.
This one was a big one for me too.
Oh, this is a good song. This was a big one for me too.
What is this?
Live Like You Were Dying.
Oh my god!
I was listening to this on the way here.
Today.
I was, yeah.
Seriously? So there's some overlap between 7-year-old PD and 22-year-old Chase?
I'm not lying when I say like this is just my music taste. Jonas
also drive a
Brothers and
truck.
Tim McGraw.
Brother, it's a miracle. You don't have like a thick Southern accent. I don't know what theater really changed your life.
Yeah, it did.
If you had not gotten a hold of theater, you would have been.
Yeah. I was also just like really embarrassed of my extended family and like how
Me too.
country they were. So yeah.
Wow.
The X-rays.
Talking about the options.
I used to be like sad, man. I'd be like, yo, this is
I need to live. I need to invest more time in my friends.
this might really be the real end.
How's it hit you when you get that kind of news?
Man, what you do?
And he said,
I went skydiving. I went Rocky Mountain climbing. I went 2.7 seconds on a full-length Fu Manchu. And I looked deeper and I spoke sweeter and I
gave forgiveness I've been
denying.
And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to
Live like you were dying.
Woo!
Man,
I'm so
I just
petty.
got
Look.
saved again.
Look, hey,
Tim
I'ma
McGraw.
say it. That's a gospel song. That's a gospel song.
I felt the
That's
presence
a gospel song.
in this room.
That's the gospel. The gospel is to live like we're dying, and Tim McGraw embodied that in a track, yo.
The part of
Get
that
past
song,
the banjo and love some country music, yo.
he's like, I gave forgiveness that I've been denying. I'm so petty that if I find out I'm about to die, I'm like, well, they better start apologizing. I won't be here forever.
If anybody needs me, I'm at Barnes and Noble.
My roster of country artists that I like when I was a kid, it was Josh Turner, Jason Aldean, Tim McGraw, Faith
Dirt
Hill,
Road Anthem.
Alan Jackson.
Yeah, I really do like country music.
Can you play a song? This is one of my favorite country songs. Darius Rucker. Can you play Radio?
Oh, that's a good song.
Have I played this before?
I've heard it because of Warren.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Man, this my song, y'all. Once again,
good,
man.
You know he's from around here?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Anderson or something.
Yeah.
Bruh, if this Christian comedy thing don't work out,
you're gonna be a country singer.
I'm just gonna turn into Darius Rucker, y'all. I'm gonna wear some jeans and some boots.
Good luck.
Seriously, man. I'm serious, man. Is there another black Darius? Like, is there another Darius?
Is there another black Darius Rucker?
That's what I'm saying. He needs a predecessor, dog. That could be me.
There's some black country artists. They're pretty good.
I mean, 17. The only way I had a car is after I dropped my mama off where she needed to go. 4 ball tires.
With the ceiling falling and the window stuck, but the only thing that I cared about
was the radio. Yo,
turn
it up again. And everybody would
jump on in.
Riding down the highway. Who wants to be the DJ? I find a spot on the side of the road. You'll find something
on the radio.
I play this song at the house and just will sing every word occasionally. And Grace is like, "What? Why?" I'm like,
"It's a good song.
All we needed was a radio." Oh. I'm playing air guitar too.
Grab my girl. We'd look for somewhere to watch the stars.
See, once again, I've never grabbed Grace and been like, let's find a place to watch the stars. But when I listen to the song, I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I know about that.
Yeah, dude, let's go find those
let's
stars.
Let's go look at some stars. Let's go.
I guess this closes the Country Power Hour.
Hey, man, I love country music.
Let's go. Yeah.
I like country music and aggressive gangster rap.
I love how it makes me feel, man.
It makes you reminiscent for a time you didn't live in.
I only have one country song that I'll listen to every now and then. Is anybody going to San Antone by Charlie Pride?
You never even been to San Antonio.
No.
You just be jamming.
Elizabeth hates country music, but she, there's a TikTok sound that's a parody of a country song where it goes, "Armadillo's been digging little holes in my backyard." She sings that constantly.
Is that a real song?
It's called
Is that a real song or is it just a TikTok?
That's the parody, the TikTok.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
guys,
did we hit enough checklists on this episode?
This is a weird one, guys.
Yeah, it was
a
strange.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Youth pastor quotes and Disney and country music.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't going to say anything. I don't feel like you earned the belt this episode.
I thought
you kind of gave it to yourself,
well, because
man.
I recognize the greatness in myself. And
I'm just saying, man. It felt a little weird. I don't know.
I mean, you can think whatever you want, Chase. That's you have the right to do that. This is America.
Speaking of,
you can be wrong.
Speaking of Chase's thoughts, let's check in with Chase.
While we were talking, my sister texted me a picture of what she's up to. She's at school. Oh, man, she's digging dead bodies.
Oh, don't show me that.
I really thought
you can't see the dead body.
Okay.
It's just her
you're
digging
about
a
to
hole.
Show me a picture of a corpse.
No,
I don't.
She's
look, I've met your sister before.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like the kind of person who would be in that space.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you could just dig up dead bodies and then, I don't know, man, eat a Subway sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I see a dead body, it's ruining my week.
Yeah.
Maybe my month.
Her professors buried it 6 feet, and they all got handed a little shovel, and they're like, dig it up. And so that's what she's up to. That's what I got.
Wait,
to share.
so they died and they're just a mini game?
They donate their bodies.
Yeah.
So basically, like they learn like what happens to a body that's been buried under the ground 6 feet for X amount of time.
So you can essentially just be like, yo, when I die,
Yep.
what's your sister's name?
Allie.
Just toss me over to Allie's teacher.
Yeah, throw me in these mini games.
They'll know what to do with me. Dig me 6 feet on. What did you also say she did? Like their class, they'll hang bodies on trees.
Yeah, it's a body farm, is what it's called.
Hey, body farm, guys.
And,
body farm, term.
They'll hang
body farm.
bodies up in the trees and on the ground and in the dirt, and they'll let the weather them and see what happens. Like what happens to someone that's completely naked in the elements for like 6 months. What happens if they have clothes on? All that kind of stuff.
That does sound fascinating, and like it would keep me up for a week. Not sleep.
What I'm saying.
She talks about it like it's a sitcom, though. Like she told me a story. I think I might have mentioned this before,
No,
but
you mentioned that to me. I don't know.
oh,
if you
okay.
told on the show.
They had this old woman body laying in Western Carolina is like on a hill, and the body farm's on this steep hill, and she was sitting there and she turns around and the body was just rolling down this, and she had to run down and try to stop it from rolling all the way down the mountain.
Just tumbling around with a dead body.
But yeah,
Yikes.
Like I said, man, you can't pay me enough to do that.
Yeah.
to do the job or to have your body have that done to.
Both.
Fair.
If I die, man, leave me at peace, dog. Don't even cremate me, dog.
Really?
Honestly, don't even move me from where I died. If I'm in the Prius, bury the Prius.
Bury the Prius. My tomb.
Don't even bother me, dog.
Other than that, listen to Written By Podcast every Monday.
Yeah, check out Written By. What else are we trying to plug? Oh, guys, Chase and I, and PD, and some other members of the After School team, we launched a little consignment thrift store, online thrift store, called Old Church Merch. Guys, a lot of church merchandise. If you go to a camp or a conference or like any church event, that merchandise just goes to like a thrift store or lives in your closet and dies.
Yeah.
And Chase and myself and some other people, we've enlisted some buyers. We've found
the best vintage,
the best and the worst church merch that has been forgotten, and we're giving it another life.
Yep.
Visit at old.church.merch on Instagram or
oldchurchmerch.com.
oldchurchmerch.com.
But the thing is, we do it in drops. They're only available for 24 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So keep up with the Instagram so that way you know when a drop is coming.
Yeah, you can't. You just don't be like, oh, I can buy something right now. You can't.
It's exclusive.
You can't.
Limited time.
And then also, I meant to plug this on the last episode. Guys, we got a P.O. box now.
Yeah.
We have a P.O. box now, and we needed one for a long time because, dude, when people are like, hey, can I send you something? I would just send them my home address.
Yeah. And now when Shama gets murdered, we'll know why.
You'd be like, man, he thought he was getting a cross t-shirt and a necklace. Turns out...
The P.O. Box is After School Program, P.O. Box 14061, Greenville, South Carolina 29610.
That's P.O. Box 14061, Greenville, South Carolina 29610. P.O. Box 14061. Send us something.
Yeah, send us stuff.
We said, what did we decide on? No food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Unless we get an official taste tester.
In case it's poison.
And then after like 48 hours,
maybe,
if they're still alive,
well,
then
know
we
what?
eat it.
I'll test. I'm the bottom of the food chain here. I'll test the...
Yeah.
I'll go first. I'm the newest.
Your name got left out of 3 emails.
Last in, first out. Don't send us... Are we saying no food?
Preferably.
Well, if you send food, just know we don't need it.
I mean, if it's like chips or something, I don't know.
Even then.
Pickled pig's feet.
Yeah, pickled pig's feet.
Yeah, give us gifts.
Send us some stuff.
And sign up for the Patreon.
Sign up for the Patreon, y'all. Legit.
Yeah.
We've been having a ton of fun. There's a lot of content, like we said, like legit, there is a lot of content that we have not put out.
Yeah.
Demos, songs that we talk about that we don't put out. So that's where it's going to live. Go. Watch it. Enjoy.
Yeah, and also the Discord has been a ton of fun. We've got a bunch of people in there now, and it gets wild.
Discord's popping. It's popping. It's popping.
Jonathan Wright is in the Discord. If that's the selling point.
Yeah.
Italian
Drewski.
hands all over the place.
Did we do praise reports?
No.
What's your praise report, Pedaba? You got the belt.
My praise report is the despite a nameless, faceless figure telling me I don't deserve this, I feel it in my heart that I earned it. I don't even remember what the pun was at this point. I've completely forgotten what I said, but I know
It wasn't memorable.
I deserved this.
You just proved that you didn't deserve it.
Chase, I got jokes flying in all the time. I don't have space for all of them.
PD's brains an airport, it'd be LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Is that the busiest airport? Don't fact check.
LAX.
It'd be LAX.
It'd be the Orlando airport because it's a mess.
Fame excess. What's my praise report? Guys, I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the Church Stories division of After School program. I think it's been a ton of fun. Written by is doing really well. Y'all are releasing a bunch of stuff. I'm excited about that.
I like how it's structured well, unlike this podcast.
Yeah. Y'all actually, that's what I'm saying, man. But honestly, you were in on the ground floor, and Church Stories, you're kind of grandfathered in. So the ship of Church Stories was a raft to begin with.
Yeah.
Whereas y'all were able to actually build like a yacht.
It was a raft in my flooding basement.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
did flood.
Which did flood.
Legitimately at one point. Not while we were in
I was
there.
about to say, while you guys were recording.
Oh, and also, I'm glad the room has been looking really dope.
It
The
looks
studio.
really cool.
Yeah.
We're getting evicted for a couple months because they're redoing.
Months?
Yeah, they're redoing.
Where are we
I
gonna
thought it'd be like
record?
a couple weeks.
No, they're redoing.
Dang.
They're redoing the upstairs.
Going back to your house?
Yeah, we have to be in my garage.
Let's do it.
My garage.
Hey, let's switch it up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let's switch it up.
We can have Ezra pop in.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the timeline's gonna look like in doing that, but yeah, man, I know we'll get it right. We might just have to be in my garage for a bit.
Yeah. We're going to Shama's garage.
Hey guys,
Nice.
basement to
Wait,
church
like
to
next
garage.
time we record?
No, that's gonna be in June. Well,
Okay.
this might come out. Yeah, sometime in June.
Close.
So,
Yeah, so
Hey, if you're listening to this,
you know, I'm excited about
we're
it.
homeless.
You know, it'll got new energy.
Yeah.
new energy.
Garage energy.
Ezra
We
can
had
show up at any moment.
Any
Yeah.
moment, and you'll know.
Grace too. When Grace, I used to call Grace in to answer questions every once in a while back
Oh,
when we
yeah.
did it at your house.
Grace, get out of here.
That's really what it was. It was like, hey, Grace, Shama just said something. You want to respond?
Now she doesn't listen to the show, so she doesn't have a say because it's too much. It's too much podcast.
Too much you for
Yeah,
her.
it's too much me.
Too much
Buddy,
you. We got
I'm
a
always
mini
doing
you
podcasts.
now.
Yeah, and he's got opinions. Yikes.
No.
Yeah, so that's my praise report, man. I think we're doing a bunch of cool stuff, and I can't wait. Yeah, man. It's been a great year for content and just creation so far. So we've been writing a bunch, releasing a bunch of stuff, and I think we're at the top of our game right now. We're the bulls in the '90s of Christian comedy. I'm not gonna say Christian comedy, of comedy.
Thanks,
right now.
son.
Of
Thanks,
comedy. That was a bold
Can I be
statement.
Dennis
Let me
Rodman?
know. Of comedy, right? Of comedy. We're the
the same
bulls
era?
of the '90s of
Yeah,
comedy
okay,
right
Dennis.
now.
I'm gonna dye my hair a bunch of colors and
Yeah.
be Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Dennis Rodman until I started watching The Apprentice.
PD's MJ. I'm Scottie Pippen.
I'm
Just
Dennis
pass him the
Rodman.
ball.
I'm either MJ or Phil Jackson.
And this is the last dance.
Dang. What a way to end it.
I
What a way
earned
to end it.
this.
It's been fun. See ya.